Action has been going on at a rapid pace since November 2022, and that was almost a year ago. As we come into our one-year episode, that pace slows to a stop, as there's no wars going on. China and the USA are at peace for now. The generals' revolt against Navalny got crushed last month, with Russia at peace with Ukraine. But this month, Donald Trump's campaign for presidency in the USA begins, with Joe Biden announcing, due to his age in the war against China, that he will not stand. Tensions in Washington run high. Will Trump win, or will the Republican candidate, whoever that is, rebuke him? Welcome to our latest episode, USA in Crisis. You can probably guess this month the only things we're talking about are America, Tibet and Russia. Let's start with the latter. The mopping up of Gersim offshore unit with Prigozhin's joint revolt starts this month. And on the 14th, Navalny said he would welcome any soldiers and mercenaries who had been loyal to Gersimov and Prigozhin to join his side. He thanked Zelensky for his help, saying it has instilled faith in him that Russia and the West can have good relations. To make the Chinese happy, he announced a trade deal which will last until fighting starts between the West and communism. In basic terms, if NATO and China started the new stage of the war, the trade deal would be cancelled. It was Navalny's latest try to get the two sides to agree a permanent peace settlement. As for Lukashenko, on the 18th he resigns, triggering a general election to be staged on the 5th of October. The two parties fighting it out are the BPF, led by Vadym Sorochoyuk, and Belarusian Social Democrat Assembly, or BSDA, and they are led by Sahari Cherechkaya. Churchen puts forward popular legislation, but Srenchokura makes himself popular by going from home to home, making clever remarks and making himself the people's man. Election day saw it to be a close run, but at the last minute voters going for the winner meant that overwhelmingly Sorochoyuk won by 10.43%, with 2,802,286 over Cherchen's 2,284,743, with 192,663 going to the Greens. Now moving on to Tibet, where the 2023 referendum is held on the 2nd of October. The Tibetans overwhelmingly vote to become independent, and only 2% of people vote to reunite with China. The Dalai Lama returns to his country as it's seen for the first time in ages, and the first time in his reign. He makes this statement on the 11th. My dear countrymen, the Buddha has given us a miracle in what seemed an endless tunnel of darkness. Today, thanks to all of you, his divineness has given us freedom and hope to prosper where no one can say. You haven't had this, you can't have that because of your race. This has happened under the Chinese, who will all go to Narakat and be punished by Yama, who is the god of death. As our will continue to prosper, to recover from the last few years, I must thank all of you for having faith in me and the Buddha. Our country will rule supreme in this region and keep peace and prosperity. Thank you. Now for events in America, and for the last few months, not much has been going on. But this month, Joe Biden announces he won't be standing for presidency. This was a shock, but not actually a surprise due to Biden's age. Immediately, Donald Trump announces himself he is standing for presidency for the Republicans. But Trump was fighting a court case due to the march on the Capitol building in 2020, after the Democrats won the 2020 election, which Trump called a witch hunt. Trump was calling the court case, along with other events, including the criticism of his support for Gersimov, a witch hunt. There were calls for the laws to be changed so Trump couldn't stand, but Biden and the Democrats said they wouldn't, and Trump would be allowed to stand. Tensions already they were beginning to simmer, and on the 28th of September, a minor riot in New Orleans was started by Trump fans with a poster calling for Biden's resignation being posted on the city square. Trump, having made no statements in his campaign yet, was not to blame for this. But Democrat fans started a fight, and 12 people were injured, 3 of which were members of the people who were sent to disperse the fighting, aka the police. 2 days later, Democrat Senator Senator of Georgia John Ossoff called the violence of the right of the people unnecessary. People lost their heads because of Donald Trump making people angry with our government. So the problem, Trump actually not being at fault for any of this because he's unlikely to made a statement yet. Trump supporters in New York escalated the situation when they graffitied the wall of Grand Central Terminal during the night, which called for an early election. By the 10th, riots were happening in most of the Republican states, while in the Democrat states, minor skirmishes have broken out. Men protagonists on the NATO side of the Third World War were slipping towards a civil war. Surprisingly, none of this had actually been started by Trump, as we mentioned multiple times now. On the 31st, Cindy Hyde-Smith announced she was going to stand against Trump, while Cory Booker announced he was standing for the Democrats. He was coming up against Kamala Harris, the Vice President, and Elizabeth Warren, who had stood as Hillary Clinton's running mate in 2016, who were both hoping to become the first female US president in the history of the nation. 5 candidates. 2 will face off, 1 will win. If Trump wins, there is going to obviously be carnage. 2024 in American politics is going to get crazy. Join us then when we continue our World War III month by month series. Good night.